Uh, that was a tough one. No question about it. Don't have a bunch to say. Probably not going to say too many good things, so it's better if I keep my mouth shut a little bit and I guess answer your questions that you have for me. But a couple notes. TD's back with us, and so it's good to have him back down there in the locker room. It's great to see him. And that's all I'm going to really say on the injury side of things. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of discussion on injuries as we go through this week, but I think it's good for all of us to know that he is back and he was in the locker room and he appears to be fine. Some tough hits out there today for us, and we'll see where that goes as we continue forward with the injury side of things. The key to the game for me is when I sit back and, without evaluating the film, obviously, and put ourselves in a position to just watch it like we all did, is you just cannot miss layups. And it's a tough, hard-fought football game on both sides. You got two teams that are trying to go out and win games in an important game for both teams. And, they made more plays than we did because they won. But you just cannot have those plays that you miss the easy ones. And there was a number of those tonight. It's on offense, it's on defense. And then lastly, if I think my numbers are right on this, but I believe this is the second game where the team that basically won hasn't scored at least 26 points. I think there's maybe one or two games in this league this year that's taken place. So you have to score. You have absolutely no chance in a great league. The Pac-12 has proven itself very cleanly to be a league where you've got to be prepared to score points, and we are struggling mightily to score points. So we'll continue to work at it and move forward. Excited about the opportunity to come back to work tomorrow and keep fighting with this crew. Last thing I'll say to you is I'm proud of the young kids. There's an exciting youth movement taking place that I really like, and it's fun to watch. Ryan Nall, it's fun to watch a kid kind of come into his own. And like I told the radio guys, I never tell you anything that I don't tell the kids. But it's interesting to see the dynamic of a few of these young, youthful kids stepping up and growing and developing. And quite frankly, the young bucks are going to keep on rolling, so the old guys better make sure they stay on the ship, because it's going to be a fun ship down the road. It's going to be a lot of fun. But right now, it's not. It's tough. It is what it is. But we'll remember these days, and we'll look back one day with a big smile on our face when we're winning games and taking care of business and say, remember when. So that's where I'm at.
Gary, how do you make sure this doesn't demoralize your kids' confidence?
Well, first of all, I don't worry about that with this crew. I really don't. And I say that because we are so youthful, and they're excited about not losing in any stretch of the imagination, but I think they are definitely, genuinely excited about their opportunity to continually build and grow. And I think that shows through in recruiting right now. I think it shows through with the youthful kids on the team, and the older guys that are the true tough guys and the true competitors are embracing that youth. The older guys, if they're not, then they're in a bad spot, because they're going to they'll get tossed off the bus at some point, because the kids won't let that happen. So they won't get demoralized. They'll keep fighting, and it's going to get a whole lot tougher now. Okay, because that team you're playing next week, we all know how good a football team that is, and then the next week we all know how good a football team that is, and the next week, and so on. So there's some really good football teams that are out there, and if we won't get demoralized, we'll keep on swinging. This young crew, they'll swing away.
Do you think that kids in the locker room are pissed?
Oh, yeah. That's a good word. I didn't say it.
He said after practice the other day to a group of people on camera that, guys don't seem as angry as he expected.
Well, I'll tell you this. In coaching, you're never going to have 105 guys care like you care as a coach. It's impossible. You'd love to have it, but that's impossible. Do I think these kids care? Absolutely. I think that's a hurt locker room in there, but is it a perfect locker room in there? No, it's not, because that locker room's going through a lot of emotions, and some kids show their emotions the other way. But I like it. That's part of a process. That's part of flipping and getting tough guys in your program that can walk in and battle through things and keep on fighting. So if there's a kid in there that doesn't seem pissed right now, as you put it, I'm just reiterating a word there. That's all I'm doing. Then I think that they won't survive for very long within the structure of this team.
Gary, how do you evaluate your quarterback situation now?
We're going to play both quarterbacks, and I'm not going to turn into a he said, she said, this, that, the other thing, and all the stuff that comes with it. The bottom line is our best opportunity to do some things on offense is to have both those quarterbacks play. It's not a debate. It's not for anybody to talk about. I'm not interested in discussing that with anybody except for the two quarterbacks. I'll take your questions. I'm not saying that to you guys. I'm saying it to the world in general, that we will play two quarterbacks and we'll consistently roll those kids through the game and get them in a position to help the offense move forward, especially with the injuries we have right now where we're going. We are going to need both of those kids to be able to help us. I think that both of them did good things at certain times, and both of them did things that they need to definitely get better at. The receivers need to accept responsibility to make plays for their quarterback, and that's what you do as a receiver. Your job is to catch it, make plays, and we are not doing a good enough job at that at the wide receiver position.
Could you expound a little more on Null's play?
Yeah, Null was. You want to talk about that? That's the guy I'm talking about. I want that war daddy everywhere I go. Those are the guys I want. And that's the guys I want to recruit, and those are the guys I want to surround myself with, because he is tough, he's physical, he's unselfish, he's everything that a great football player stands for in my mind, and he's a freshman, and that excites the hell out of me. So he had some unbelievable runs today and just kept pounding the ball in there, and a couple times it's on the line of scrimmage. The one he bounced out of there and kind of spun out, and he's faster than you think, and he's a big, tough, physical kid. And he missed the one run on the fourth down, and we got stopped early, which was a little disappointing for all of us on the offensive side of the football. But boy, he came back and did some tremendous things today. I'm proud of that kid. And like I said, you get your 30, 40 of those kids, you'll be rolling.
You talked about missing opportunities or missing layups. When you look at kind of the last maybe 7-8 minutes when the defense forced a couple punts, but the offense couldn't capitalize, just kind of how do you evaluate the stretch run, and is that something that this young group kind of still needs to figure out?
Yeah, we were in a position to win the game many times, and we didn't get it done. And when I talk about the layups, there's layups that were throughout the game there that I'd like to see us make. And there's some great plays that we made out there. And Colorado won. Credit goes to them. They won the football game, and they deserved to win the football game. But the last stretch, I would say, the defense did what they were supposed to do. They executed at a good level. It's always a little bit of a question in my mind at that point if you go for the fourth down there with whatever it was, 2 minutes and some odd seconds left, or you give your defense a chance to be able to play again with 3 timeouts, and that worked out. So it was good that they down to get another stop. But again, offensively, we were just, we could not get ourselves in a rhythm, and we had a hard time blocking them late, especially on the left side. We're down a couple players there, and so some young men are going to have to continue to get better, because the next guys, they're going to look at that, and then the next guys are too.
Gary, it seemed like there was a lot of penalties again offensively that maybe shot you guys in the foot, took away either pass interference or holdings, or what do you do to try to get that to these guys' heads?
There were some ignorant penalties, period. The aggressive penalty is an aggressive penalty. We're never going to be completely perfect when it comes to holding. Offensive PIs, and I'm going to leave it at that. So I'll discuss that with the people I needed to be able to discuss to at some point, and I'll do my best to try to learn that rule so I can teach a kid what that is and what that isn't, because I'm quite frankly confused. But there's, we had some penalties that were ignorant penalties, and that is still a work in progress. And we have to be able to execute at a higher level and play in the moment and understand what that penalty can do to a football team, to a drive, to an offense, especially with an offense that quite frankly, has proven all season it has a very hard time overcoming long yardage situations. And, I mean, that's no secret. So getting behind the chains is tough for us, and if we do it with an ignorant penalty, that's a selfish act.
How do you assess the play of Nick Mitchell making his first career start?
You know, I think Nick came in and did some good things. He threw the ball well. He seemed to have a good command of the offense. You know, it's a good start for him. I wish he would have got a little bit more help on a couple of those balls, and I think he could have had a pretty special night. And when I say that, I expect more out of our talented group of wide receivers, and I expect more out of them mentally, and I expect more out of them physically. It was good to see Datron make a couple plays in there, but you have to make those special plays for your quarterback, and that's both quarterbacks. You know, I thought Seth came in and did some really good things too when he was in there, as far as, you know, running the ball and getting the ball out on the edges. That's there's two different parts to it right now. It's the ability to have a running quarterback that can get out of the pocket and do some things for you and move around. It's another guy that can come in and have a little bit more of different part of the offense, while Seth has his part of the offense. So both quarterbacks are needed, and, you know, I believe they're in a situation to accept that role and understand that we have a few more opportunities to battle with each other, and then we'll move on from there.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.